Alright, everyone, welcome to my top 10 movies of all time. This is my opinion, so don't get triggered if you don't agree with it. If you don't agree, let me know which ones you don't agree with, comment section. And yeah, so let's get right into it. With number 10, we got Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, the 1960 classic, King of Suspense himself. This could be arguably his best work that he's ever made. Um, it's very well done technically, and there's a lot of great shots in it as well as good performances. The suspense is built super well throughout the entire film, and it leads to many satisfying payoffs, kind of in the latter like two halves, two thirds of the movie. Um, it's honestly pretty scary, especially for being black and white, kind of no visual effects or anything like that, which is kind of just a nod to how amazing Hitchcock was as a director. And even 60 years later, we are still scared to go into the shower. So, alright, coming in at number 9, we got The Wizard of Oz. So, this film from 1939 could be considered like the most classic film of all time. I would totally agree with that. Um, it's just timeless story. It's super entertaining to watch. You could watch this alone as well as with your friends or family. It really doesn't matter. This is a great movie either way. It's just so much fun to go on an adventure with Dorothy and all these awesome characters. It's not only a fun movie, but we get to witness like really amazing character arcs with like how all the characters grow throughout the movie. And at the end, you're left satisfied, but also quite emotional. All right, coming in at our number 8 spot, we got the original Planet of the Apes. Now, I honestly couldn't even tell you what draws me so much into this film, but it's just the world building in it is just like amazing. It's so good. And they have like such a good way of building up Taylor's character with like all the loss that he experiences and all that when he's actually captured by the apes, it's like you find yourself rooting for him, but you also like some of the apes. I just find that super awesome and honestly just something that I don't really have an explanation for. First time I watched it, it was just amazing and I loved it. All right, and at number 7, we got the whole Star Wars franchise. I think they're some of the greatest sci-fi and adventure films like ever made. I really enjoyed the originals. It was my favorite trilogy by far, and The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie of the entire franchise. The prequels, I didn't actually find them as horrible as like some other people did, but Attack of the Clones was like almost unwatchable for me. It's super slow, and there's not really one main plot line to follow throughout the movie. There's just like a bunch scattered all over the place. The sequels weren't great, but like they're watchable for me. If I want to like watch the entire series, I'll watch them, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch any of them. Number 6, we got Citizen Kane. So this classic from 1941, directed by Orson Welles. It's widely considered one of the greatest films ever created, and I could easily hop onto this train. This movie is amazing. Cinematography is just top notch and super groundbreaking for its time, and the techniques that are actually used in this movie are still used to this day, which shows how crazy this is. Cause like this was made, was it now like 80 years ago or almost? So that's kind of crazy, and it's just a really awesome film. I just enjoy watching it every time. Coming in at number 5, we got The Shining. So the 1980 psycho thriller from Stanley Kubrick, just absolute masterpiece in my opinion, is easily my favorite horror movie of all time. And the legendary performance by Jack Nicholson really takes center stage in this whole movie. Um, but like aside from the performance, the story and the script are just amazing. The cinematography is just absolutely beautiful. Like you take that shot of Danny playing with his toys on the carpet and like that's just crazy. And then like I really can't say enough about this film. It's really beautiful, awesome story, and also quite scary. Coming in at number 4, we got Pulp Fiction. So, another film here that's considered one of the greatest films of all time. Quentin Tarantino brings his A game. It's arguably his best movie that he's ever made, and it's super entertaining throughout the entire thing. The story, which isn't in chronological order, is actually super interesting like that, and it's, in a way, it's like not too complex that you don't know what's going on, but it also makes you kind of think about it more. And it's just amazing storytelling. There's super funny sequences, super intense sequences, and then just some really awesome stuff that Tarantino just brings his A game in this one. With number 3, we got The Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. Peter Jackson brings Middle Earth just to life. It's honestly amazing. I just love how it was executed, and it's like an absolute marathon to watch all these films, but it's definitely worth it. Not only is it technically amazing, but it's some of the best storytelling and most entertaining film that I've ever seen, all kind of wrapped into one. The best of the bunch, in my opinion, is Return of the King. Just so many amazing sequences in that film, and just super entertaining. Kind of brings everything to a close. Coming in at number 2, we got the Harry Potter franchise. So this is my favorite franchise of all time. That just shows not a franchise in number 1, but whatever. J.K. Rowling's world is brought to life, and I just love it so much. I have so much nostalgia for these films, which is partially why I have them ranked so high, but they're just too much fun for me to ignore, and I'll never forget my first watch through of these. It was just so magical and amazing. It was just, I loved them so much, and they still stand. They're still just as good as they were the first time I watched them, so that's why they're this high on my list. Alright, taking the cake, the number 1 spot. Might be a little bit of a surprise to a lot of you guys, but if there's anyone I know watching this, they might actually know. It's Fantastic Mr. Fox. This movie is just so good. I love it so much. I could talk all day about this movie. Wes Anderson is one of my favorite directors ever. His style is just so unique. So amazing. I won't get too in depth because I'm gonna make a follow-up video on this soon, kind of explaining why I like this film so much, more in depth with like characters and story and all that. And I just love it so much. All the characters are perfect. They all have a role to do. The story is so simple yet so complex. There's so many like deeper meanings that you can get out of it. And the Canis Lupus scene, if you know what I'm talking about, that is just one of the best scenes. It was super touching at the time, and like it's just wonderful. I love it so much. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below and subscribe. Comment down below whether you agreed with some of my picks, and leave your top 10 down below. And I will see you guys later. Peace.